How to build a half pipe. Materials. To begin with, you will need to buy 5 pieces of 1-inch plywood at 8 by 6 feet, 8 1/4-inch pieces of plywood at 12 by 6 feet, and 4 1/2-inch pieces of plywood at 12 by 6 feet. Also, you will need to buy 67 2x4s that are 8 feet long. You will also need to purchase 2 8 feet long metal pipes with a diameter of about 1.5 inches. Lastly, you will need a very large bag of screws. Assembly. Putting together the flat. Cut 4 inches off 13 2x4s. Then attach 2 cut 2x4s to 2 uncut 2x4s at the ends. Then attach with screws the 10 2x4s, leaving 7 inches between each board. Putting together the transitions. To start assembly, you will cut 2 curves out of a 1-inch plywood board. You will want your curves' radius to be 7 feet. These will become either side of your transition. Next, you will cut 2 inches off 3 pieces of 2x4. Once you've done that, you are ready to attach the 2 curves of plywood at the top and the bottom of the transitions. The next step is cut 2 inches off 14 2x4s, then attach them along the curve of the transitions at 6 inches apart. Place all of these with the 2-inch surface facing the curve, except have the 3.5-inch surface of the top 2x4 facing the curve. Now attach the coping by placing the coping rail towards the top of the top 2x4. Then mark on the 2x4 and pre-drill through it. Next, push a toggle bolt with a washer on it through the 2x4 and into the rail and allow it to expand. Once it's done this, use a drill to tighten the bolt. Attach the flat with the 2 transitions by screwing the 2x4s together. Cut 2 pieces of 1-inch plywood to 4 by 8 feet. Place the 2 pieces of 1-inch plywood on the flat and attach with screws. Next, cut 2 1/4-inch pieces of plywood to 4 by 12 feet. Then, lay down one of the pieces of 1/4-inch plywood vertically on the transition, lined up against one side and flush against the coping, screwing it down to the 2x4s underneath, causing the plywood to take the shape of the curve. Next, do the same thing on the other side, leaving no space between the pieces of plywood. Repeat, laying a 1/4-inch piece of plywood vertically on both sides. Now repeat once more, this time using a 1/2-inch piece of plywood on both sides. Cut any extra plywood off the top so it is flush with the bottom of the coping. Cut 4 2x4s to 5 feet 8.5 inches. Cut 4 more 2x4s to 7 feet 8 inches. Connect the 2x4s making 2 squares. Connect the 2 squares by using 2x4s cut to 1 foot 9 inches. Place the box against the back side of the half pipe and attach by using a 1-inch piece of plywood cut to 3 by 8 feet and placing it on top as a platform. Using 2 pieces of plywood cut to 2 feet 1 inch wide by 5 feet 8.5 inches tall, cover the sides of the platform. Do the same steps on the other side. The half pipe is now done.